Hello friends, today I will give you an overview of economic state of India. Table 2.3.1 of the book shows the liabilities of the union government and also the states. Most states too borrow heavily from the market, besides time to time overdraft from RBI to meet their expenses, even for salaries and interest payments. These loans and ODs are over and above the loans and aid packages provided by the center to the states. There seems to be no deterrence of any kind, legal or constitutional, to hold this regressive practice. The state debts are also a liability of the nation and do no developmental work, rather cause inflationary trends, and people have to bear the brunt of it through rising prices and lack of fresh jobs. Opportunities in absence of development. The debts of the states are rising unbounded and stood at about rupees 14.7 lakh crores during 2008-2009 and rose to rupees 27.3 lakh crore by 2014-15. Consistently rising public debts is a dangerous indicator suggestive of scanty development and rising reliefs and doleouts. Total internal debts during 2008-2009 were rupees 45.33 lakh crores and total internal and external public debts stood at rupees 56.97 lakh crores, which is more than the GDP during the same period of rupees 53.21 lakh crore and debt burden per person about rupees 50,000. As a consequence, development programs got hampered and governments forced to resort to relief and handouts to sustain the rural poor. We thus lost the opportunity of high growth and failed to give a boost to developmental activities. Unproductive extravagance over means and lack of development have caused recurring and rapid inflation, high cost of living, and a weakening rupee. We are neck deep in heavy debt. The tragic story of our nation after 70 years of our self-rule is now worse than it was for our farmers then. Mr. Piyush Goyal, Minister of Power, on 30th April 2015 told the Parliament that most parts of the country have surplus power, but the states are not able to buy the same, presumably due to paucity of funds with the states as narrated above. For details, please refer the book, A Nation in Debt. And internal debt as on 31/3/2015 stood at rupees 60.84 lakhs crores and external debts at $461.9. That is about rupees 29.5 lakh crore, totaling to rupees 90.34 lakh crore. Adding the debts of states at rupees 27.3 lakh crore, the total debts work out to over rupees 117.64 lakh crore by 2015. Considering a population of 128 crore by 2015, the debt burden comes out to a frightening rupees 92,000 per head, 117.64 lakh crore divided by 128 crore. This is nearly double of what it was in 2009, as deduced above. It compelled our country to seek for FIIs, loan and debts, technology and expertise from other countries to sustain our economy. In pursuit to circumventing this invincible predicament, our Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi propounded for Make in India philosophy and undertook extensive tours to various countries. During his first leg, he visited about 30 countries during 2014 and 15. And earned great accolades for his extraordinary skills of oratory and statesmanship. Wherever he visited and established commendable bilateral cooperation and socio-economic alliances with them. It was unprecedented. His exemplary pursuits also exemplify the highly ramshackle and vulnerable economic state that our country has attained. It was also cautioned in 2012 by the then Finance Minister, Mr. P. Chidambaram. Friends, the financial vulnerability of the nation has begun casting its evil shadow. The union and the state governments, having no option, have started selling off their assets in terms of their buildings, shareholdings in PSUs, hypothecating their fixed assets, land and buildings, and so forth for raising funds to meet their urgent needs. Clipping 29B, if you kindly refer my book, you will find it there. Not only this, in an attempt to circumventing the economic decay, the union government is frequently raising service taxes in terms of education cess, Krishi Kalyan cess, Swachh Bharat cess, and so on, and diminishing bank interest rates on Public Provident Fund, PPF, and on people's savings in 2015-2016. Not only inflation, squeezing the people by way of taxes and low return on savings shall also retard the business climate severely. Governments raising paltry revenue in this manner is indicative of our sins having filled up to the brim. I am afraid the trend that has begun as a consequence of unmindful freebies, reliefs, and compensations for droughts, floods, farmers, suicides, and others may be difficult to halt. Section 2.5 of my book presents a vivid overview of India's economy, a disaster in the making. Friends, self-determination is essential for self-empowerment. To be dependent on others is a self-defeat. Only the handicapped totter on the crutches provided by others. Perpetual freebies and dole-outs are ghastly sins. They are indicative of lack of knowledge and vision with our guardians, elected or selected. It is the greatest cause that has pushed the nation to the present shambles. Looking closely, the erosion of our resources and regression of our nation seem to have beset us rather dangerously. The industries and businesses too are under severe financial constraints and uncertainties as illustrated under Genesis. Non-performing assets, NPAs, are rising unbounded, and banks are shying to extending loans to power sector, industries and power distributors, SEBs and DISCOMs. Due to their large outstandings as illustrated already, and little hope of their revival in the face of unrestrained concessions and reliefs by our guardians to the consumers. Not only this, most of the thermal power plants in our country have long outlived their lives and are already on crutches. To come out of these labyrinthine predicaments are indeed frightening. Unmindful and consistent freebies and dole-outs are draining out our hard-earned resources, similar to draining out of precious rainwater in absence of a work culture and poor storage and water conservation. It is our misplaced euphoria that FIIs and FDIs and foreign loans and aids shall one day obviate our dangerous financial vulnerability unless we make use of our resources prudently. It demands for tangible ground development and calls for a will and skill of our governances. Otherwise, all benefits so reaped shall evaporate on non-productive heads and make only scanty material difference in the plight of the poor, barring some meager employment. See also Section 8.9 for the economic and environmental impact of ban on barren cow slaughter. All these predicaments may be circumvented by having knowledgeable and visionary guardians, both elected and selected, at all the states and the union government levels, as propounded through my book and prayed to the learned judiciary. My prayer to the learned judiciary and concept of city centres shall provide a tangible answer to the insurmountable predicaments that have besieged our nation and usher in glorious path to unbounded progress and prosperity of the nation, and happiness to the large impoverished and illiterate masses of India from their age-old woes and miseries. Economic slavery is the abuse of liberty and dignity, and flouts Part 3 and Part 4 of our Constitution. The author wonders at the purpose of our Constitution and the role of our judiciary. Friends, it was for now. I wish you are able to comprehend what I want to convey. In my next episode, I will talk about our regressive economy. Till then, goodbye and thank you.